And welcome back. It's later in the day at Brands Hatch Indy for race 2, round 1 of the inaugural European Super Touring Championship. And with the expected format, race 2 reverse grid top 10. Ivan Dalma is on pole with Heinz Winkelhock in second after finishing 9th. And as you can see, the race winner, Marco Kubica, 10th on the grid behind his teammate, Mauro Heidfeld. Decent break of about 2 hours for the cars to be fixed and clean for race 2. It's going to be a good one, Christian, I reckon.
It should be. We'll certainly see how it goes.
And in the pits, as per usual, these days will be Michael Swinnerton. Sound check 1, 2.
Hello. Yep, I have you.
Excellent. Let's see where this evening takes us.
Oh, this BMW's got a great start back there, but then got crowded out.
It's going to be cramped into turn 1, Drew. Paddock bend. Ingram down to 7th after a decent getaway in race 1. Winkelhock now ahead of Thomas. Dive down the inside of the hairpin.
Third.
And Barbosa up to 4th. Peugeot might have been sleeping on this one just to get the car ready for race 2. There's an absolute swarm going into Surtees, including the 2 front-running M2s. Ingram down to 9th. Might have been charged.
Back in 10th there. Did gain a few positions at the start. There's no drop tomorrow.
And there's the other M2 of the IKEA team. Bit more of a swarm in the second lap, less of a split so far. But Winkelhock has gone
very quick dispatching there of Dalmas.
Tried and tested equipment in the Renault, tried and tested equipment in that Honda. It is the Tamiya car. Wide again goes the Gronholm TT. You'll be seeing fastest laps from everyone because it is only lap 2. Standing lap time of 56.1 from Winkelhock, about to be eclipsed by his next lap, as was Capelli's. Capelli now up to 2nd, of course. I think we know.
Capelli looks to be man on a mission at the moment.
Yeah, I'm expecting that to happen sooner rather than later. Oh, Gronholm with a dive bomb. I think we saw him slide. It looked like he slid off, but obviously yeah, Bianchi as well. But going from them, and there goes
the Swedish
Kubica on Barbosa
here.
Yep.
Unfortunately. When it rains, it pours. It seems for the poor old. Barbosa.
But I'm expecting Capelli to have some business with Winkelhock as they complete the 3rd lap of the race. Another 22 laps. The organizer got it right this time. Barbosa still in 8th, but the 2 BMWs are now 6th and 7th. Ingram still in the top 10. How was his response to race 1 there, Swinny?
Yeah, he was very happy with his performance. Obviously, getting a solid top 10 finish there, and good solid points on the board, which is giving him a good start for the Independence title, obviously.
I certainly wouldn't be happy with the fall back. Yeah, Barbosa.
He has.
Yeah.
Past Barbosa. Barbosa really is just not able to hook it up at the start of this race at the moment.
Still a bit of a test bed for what was effectively a new car in a new series, up against some tried and tested equipment that we have seen, as are the Audis, as are the Hyundai. Capelli still behind Winkelhock though. Mauro Heidfeld with the fastest lap.
BMWs are looking racy already. For the 6th and 7th respectively there between Heidfeld and Kubica.
I was expecting Gronholm to have some response to Dalmas's move down through McLaren into clearways Clark Curve. Now Capelli and Wilcock look very close to me on the map. No, just saw a brief glimpse of Winkelhock's Europe car Honda just ahead. But that Renault was on a mission in Capelli's hands earlier. That's very close now. We've got a, there we go, on board Capelli. Decent line enough, but not as aggressive as he was early on. I'm wondering if that's
saving.
Yep.
I mean, you learnt that from the first lap when he was chasing down Heidfeld. But that entire time, clearly just seemed to have lost his tyres and eventually fell in the grasp of Ingram at that stage. Yeah, Barbosa's now down. Well, he's not now down, but is indeed in 10th place, getting challenged by Vettel.
We're expecting more of an eclectic mix of independent and factory runners. And it's good to see that there's an independent Honda out front with a factory Renault behind it. We'll have to see what the governing body do with the balance of performance when we get to the next round.
Still unfortunately very much at the back, but at least with the rest of the group.
And it's still a decent group as well. We're not seeing the sort of 6-second gap we saw in race 1. Even if it is starting to manifest, you can see it on the track map there. Between sort of top 8 and the rest. Probably with some...
It would feel to be only a matter of time for Capelli here at the moment.
Dalmas and Gronholm with their own battle. Heidfeld obviously, Kubica's got the fastest lap now. Their trade, I think they're working as a team to try and get as much points as they can. Damage limitation from race 1 obviously, but still very close to Gronholm there. Nice to see the various lines being used by the drivers.
Yeah, but I think he's losing time there. Every time they go wide, they just seem to just not have any kind of grip, which just does not help them down straight.
So I've been studying the Audis over the first 9 laps, especially Gronholm here. I think he's dealing with some very bad understeer, especially coming out of clearways where it goes downhill, because I've seen him a few times now lift off at, a part of the track that is essentially an acceleration zone. So I think if he didn't have that much understeer on the last corner there, he would have gotten past Dalmas several laps ago now.
Yeah, that Grasscrete's not going to have any grip on it, so I'm surprised he's still trying to do something with that as the tricycle of the Peugeot through.
Yeah, it's helped the car's understeer. It looks like, if
Meanwhile,
they're accelerating elsewhere. But
brief glimpse of Capelli down the inside of Paddock. There we go. I'm glad I managed to see that, but at least the cameramen did too. At least the director did. Capelli can now fly off into the distance, hopefully, unless Winkelhock's got something up his sleeve to get that lead back.
It does seem like he's stuck with him, which is always a good thing to see. But I mean, that's another. I mean, effectively, the Winkelhock would be a buffer between Capelli and the BMW, so I can't help but think might start climbing places even so. But they're right behind Gronholm at the moment.
And there are 5th and 6th now is the BMWs.
Yeah.
Bianchi down to 7th. Tassi in 8th. Doing very well for Hyundai.
He's under attack now by Vettel.
As the more experienced Liuzzi is behind this guy, Vettel.
maybe. They're just a little bit of pace on the straights.
Objects in the mirrors may be larger than they appear.
Oh, I can't help but think of Bart Sposa sees that's a giant behind him then by that regard.
The more experienced of the Hyundai drivers as well. Tassi's doing quite a good job. There's Radicic. Early days for him too. More experience. Not far away from home.
Yeah, definitely what you'd consider a rookie, if there was to be considered one for this first season at the moment.
I've got someone out of the iRacing fold in Ordonez in 14th.
Maybe.
There we go.
Yeah,
Paddock
inside.
Hill.
Not
Brave of Vettel to say no there. That's going to be a decent battle. Capelli started to get the sort of fractions of a second ahead of Hawk down mass.
Can't help but think that
Persian with
Dalmas
third.
at the moment, just to look forward, sorry to interrupt you there, looks very much like the cork in the bottle at the moment.
And I think we've just seen the two BMWs go ahead of Gronholm as well.
Gronholm, wow.
So yeah, this is what Swinney mentioned earlier about the line and the yeah. You
does
could,
this not?
Yeah.
If you were a driver, would this not terrify you?
Oh.
Look at the top speed though. This Peugeot, there is some potential with this car actually. Looking at that, just seems a little doggy in the corners, unfortunately, because
obviously the dive bomb from Heidfeld, but here, Kubica, yeah, they're going to be it'll be hard to stop the BMW from being, you know, a title contender. But then again, this is round one, race one. Bop will be an element.
A ton of dirt there.
And Gronholm still
so
keeping on to this sort of trail despite finding all sorts of difficulty in handling. Bianchi and Tassi in 8th, starting to gain ground on him. And then there's Ingram in 9th, settled in with the last half of the race to go.
Possibly on
Barbosa.
On Barbosa here, not quite. Maybe for Druitt if he set himself up nicely. Let's have a look.
And
he's very close.
Going from the track map, it looks like we do have a straggler, and I have a feeling that might just be the Nilsson Volkswagen once again.
Got to be something going on with that car currently. Although to be fair, his teammates are not doing all that well.
Morris, it's surprising that it was said of these Scirocco's that there was effort being put into them before the rules changed, but it's going to be hard to believe that if this is the sort of result they get out of it. During the break there, Swinney, Heidfeld is definitely past Dalmas.
Yeah.
During the break there, Swin, did you hear anything from the pits about like either the BOP or individual teams having to sort of say, oh, we need to do this for race or round 2?
Bianchi's through.
Bianchi is through.
Yeah, I mean, it was all hands on deck for Volkswagen trying to fix Stefan's car. Unfortunately, I don't think they've quite got the bugs out of it yet. There's not really much to talk about BOP per se. It's just more, you know, lots of teams conferring with themselves of what can we. That's good to see.
Ingram. What happened there? I'd like to see a replay on that one.
Well, the director's going to allow us to do that. He's obviously behind Tassi there. And okay.
That's very unusual for an oversteer in a front-wheel drive car.
Tyre temperatures, perhaps. I mean, halfway, more than almost 2/3 of the race complete. That can't be a tyre issue, surely.
No, I think it's just got loose. Possibly that the rear just got too light, and that's why it came round.
No doubt his own man.
With front-wheel drives.
Yeah, I feel like brake bias might have been an issue there.
Too far at the front then.
And it still is, but the looks of it, if he's gone wide at Paddock.
Oh, that'll be dirty tyres, unfortunately for Ingram there. Still in the points, still not after that. He's got some pace. He'll catch. He'll catch him. He won't be too much there. Might be a bit angry with himself.
Leads. Winkelhock second, and there's enough of a gap to Heidfeld, but Kubica still with the fastest lap, still being held up by Dalmas.
Yeah, potentially here this time round.
Yeah, it's
Although,
obviously
to be
been held
fair,
up because
Heidfeld overtook towards the end of the lap before
Yeah.
clearways. So it's more than likely what's going to happen again.
but you can
Let's
see
get to
who's being held
overtake.
up there because of the time on the right hand side of the screen. You can see he's just sort of hit a 1 second brick wall
Oh,
for the
going
last
for
3
it, he's going
laps,
for it.
and there we go.
Oh, he's just said, I've had enough of this, I'm going
Yep.
through.
So did we.
Yeah. Dalmas it's a spirited fight, honestly. Like, but that Peugeot just does not seem to have any kind of grip in the corners. Very quick on the straight as we've seen, but he's had to brake a lot longer for some of these
Unbelievable,
corners, which
Bianchi,
allows you the cars to come up to them.
Well, that's a
Bianchi will
noticeable
get
drop
that.
off in performance then if that McGann is going to be close to getting past
Already.
the end of the lap or the start of the next lap.
Yeah, already all over the back. Have a look on the inside. It's not the place for you just yet. Maybe at Druids. Doesn't seem to be the case there for him at the moment.
And
Tassi not been able to do very much there, considering how fast they were in the first race. It's rather unfortunate to see they've not really made any headway.
still a very respectable P8, decent points haul.
Teammate's still a little far back in the double digits there in terms of positions. Bianchi can't be too happy being stuck behind what is effectively a slower car. Not necessarily a slower driver by any stretch. Look at this thing, launches from the...
I was expecting Bianchi to have more difficulty in the start of the season, but his compatriot Dama.
battle of the...
Down the
Brent
inside
Paul
of Druid,
makes a move?
perhaps? Oh no, he didn't.
Oh,
He should have, but he
that's-
didn't.
I think Dalmas sort of kind of half closed the door, gave doubts to Bianchi. Interesting move.
And with
We'll see how
2.5
long
laps
this
to go,
lasts. Indeed.
we saw
Problem.
Ingram recovering from his spin-off. He's now behind Barbosa in the other RCZ, the factory input RCZ, and no doubt the privateer RCZs are in that sort of end pack, shall we say.
Bit closer this lap. Picks with him throughout Paddock Bend. Might be able to get him at Druids. That's very close. He's going to make.
He's got to make that move now.
Again, Dalmas just almost drifts into the middle of the track to give doubts. It's very interesting. Very interesting defensive manoeuvres there. It's doing him very well. It's not illegal in any stretch. No wonder he was such a pain to pass for the BMWs, even with their speed at the moment.
Yeah, Heifenberger running in their number position, 3 and 4.
Winkelhock doing very well to, although fallen back very clearly from. Wondering if Bianchi's going to make a move here. Kind of glued onto this. Kind of want to know what happens.
If it was going to happen, it surely would have happened by now, because it's going to be
I don't know,
the
he's
definition of insanity if he doesn't. He's done it again. Yeah, that's braking early. Dalmas braking early. Do you reckon?
Possibly, but it definitely. I think Bianchi's just annoyed. I don't think he's happy with how he's defending. I think he used that lap as if to go, "Don't do that again." It does seem to be the case.
Speaking of the definition of insanity, we see Gronholm running onto the grass street on the exit of Graham Hill.
It's working.
Every single lap that happens.
Let the man cook. Let the man cook.
With one more lap to go, there's actually a battle on our hands because Winkelhock is starting to gain on Capelli by the looks of it. However, oh no, traffic. That's traffic. That's the Volkswagen again. Yep.
Oh yeah. Thankfully out of the way this time. Heidfeld catching Winkelhock. Oh, I'd like to see if Capelli gets past. It's not at him at the moment. Not Capelli, sorry, Bianchi, I do apologise. No, not quite. Not yet, at least, anyway.
Wilson better move out of the way of the fourth. Yeah, that's your top 3. Whatever order the exit clearways is going to be. Winkelhock. I think if anything was going to happen there, it was going to be a collision as opposed to
Yeah.
an overtake. But this is still close. This is actually still close for the finish. Is it going to? It's not going to be a photo finish. Capelli with the job done about halfway through. Winkelhock, decent finish. Eidfeld and BMW. I mean,
Oh,
to
Dalmas
summarise,
holding on. Fantastically done, Dalmas.
and there's Ingram back to
Ingram,
ninth.
nicely done.
He'll be
And
happy with that.
Barbosa. Oh no, really
13th
did
fall
suffer
back.
the. Yes, really did suffer the Swinny shuffle, unfortunately.
Now, what we're going to see here is in the sort of how the turntables. Volkswagen did very well in the first couple of rounds of season 2 of the World Super Tourers, and BMW didn't. What we're seeing here is the exact opposite. The BMW have come out of this like lightning in a bottle, and Volkswagen, with all their effort to make that car good last year, have somehow got more work on their hands than they expected, let alone we expected. And obviously there's much more work to be done for everyone in the field for what was, I think, quite a successful race one, round one, year one of the
Much better
European
second race,
Super
though,
Touring Championship.
admittedly.
Much better second race,
Yeah.
especially when you consider the reverse format as well. Closer racing. We saw those laps come in, and they were very similar. Swinny, your thoughts on what I think was a good weekend
Oh, your
of
thoughts
racing?
on Ingram making that recovery? Actually, that's what I want to know. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that sort of weird little half spin, which I believe was down to brake bias, definitely
Possibly
lit a
drive it
fire in
home.
him, and he said, "No, no, no, this is where I'm going to be this race," which is very positive to see. Um, yeah, interesting in the sense of like we all expected that Volkswagen to be fast, and it just wasn't. I don't know whether it was just it doesn't like the corners too much, and seeing as this track is pretty much nothing but corners. We'll have to see what it does with a more straight line speed focused circuit, I believe.
And damn me for not having notes here, or someone's nicked them. Where
And
are
what
we
would you
for
say?
round two?
What would you say to Pedrosa about that rather unfortunate
Barbosa.
start to the end? As I'm sure you're well aware, I like to use the Swinny Shuffle to express just the almost like collapse, let's say, of positions. What would you say to Barbosa in that situation?
I saw. I'll offer him therapy sessions on the cheap. Also, to confirm your question, Adrian, round two is at Dragon Trail Gardens.
Now that's going to be a straight line speed circuit if ever there was one, and expect to see some two-wheel tilting action on the curbs, especially through 345, 234 rather. But yeah, this has been an interesting one, and it should get better by the time we hit Croatian Garden. Not far from the beach. It's going to be a early holiday for everyone, me especially. Good racing, everyone.
No. Hi, have a good evening.